If you are waiting for your Social Security money in January and Wednesday, January 14th is circled on your calendar, there is a very specific reason why. For millions of Americans, this date marks the first true Social Security payday of 2026, not because something was delayed, but because January's calendar pushed the system to its limits. January 2026 created the longest possible wait for many beneficiaries. The year began on a Thursday. New Year's Day shut down banks and government systems. That single detail quietly pushed regular Social Security payments further into the month than usual. For people who depend on these deposits, that gap felt uncomfortable, even alarming. Social Security does not send payments randomly, and it does not send them all at once. Most retirement, disability, and survivor benefits follow a Wednesday-based schedule that depends on one thing only: the beneficiary's date of birth. If your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th of any month, your assigned payday is always the second Wednesday. In January 2026, that second Wednesday lands on January 14th, as late as it can possibly be. That is why January 14th matters. It is not a special release. It is not a catch-up payment. It is simply the moment when the calendar finally allows the system to release funds for this group. Until that date arrives, nothing is missing. Nothing is delayed. The payment is simply not due yet. This Wednesday payment includes Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security disability insurance, and survivor benefits, but only for people whose birthdays fall between the 1st and the 10th. If you fall into that group, January 14th is your scheduled day, regardless of what you saw others receive earlier in the month. The confusion begins when people compare deposits. Some saw money on January 2nd, others saw money back on December 31st, and many saw nothing at all in early January. That comparison fuels panic, even though all of those outcomes can be correct at the same time. The people paid on January 2nd belong to a completely different category. These are beneficiaries who started receiving Social Security before May 1997, as well as people who receive both SSI and Social Security. Their payments are not tied to birthdays. They are tied to a fixed early month rule, and January's weekend calendar moved their payment forward. SSI recipients add another layer of confusion. Supplemental Security income follows a separate system entirely. SSI is normally paid on the 1st of the month, but January 1st was a federal holiday. That forced the January SSI payment to be released on December 31st, before the new year even began. That early deposit made January feel empty for many SSI recipients, even though their January money had already arrived. Because of this overlap, January felt unfair. Some people saw deposits before the year started. Others saw deposits right after New Year's Day, and people scheduled for January 14th felt left behind. In reality, everyone was exactly where the schedule said they would be. Another factor quietly adding tension was the 2.8% COLA increase. Many beneficiaries expected that a higher payment might also arrive sooner, but COLA never changes timing. It only changes the amount. If your payment date is January 14th, the increase does not move it forward. It simply makes that January 14th deposit slightly larger. January 2026 also pushed the other Wednesday payments as late as possible. Beneficiaries born between the 11th and 20th will not be paid until January 21st. Those born between the 21st and 31st must wait until January 28th. That means some people go nearly the entire month without a Social Security deposit. Not because of a problem, but because of how the calendar landed. This is why the Social Security Administration repeatedly reminds beneficiaries to check the official payment schedule instead of relying on assumptions. Social Security is predictable, but only if you understand which rule applies to you. When expectations are wrong, normal timing feels like a crisis. There is also an emotional reality behind this confusion. January brings rent, utilities, insurance, and medical costs all at once. When money does not arrive early, fear fills the gap. That fear spreads quickly online, where posts claiming payments are delayed travel faster than explanations. But the facts remain steady. If you are scheduled for January 14th, that date is correct. Your benefits were not skipped. They were not reduced. They were not paused. You are simply part of the group whose payment comes on the second Wednesday. And in January 2026, that second Wednesday came late. Understanding this difference is more than technical knowledge. It protects you from panic, overdrafts, and unnecessary stress. Social Security did not change the rules. The calendar did. For millions of Americans, Wednesday, January 14th is not late. It is right on time.